second graders, today for our reading lesson, we are going to learn about genre, which is the type of story that we're going to read. And the type of story is called informational text. Now this page is found in your Wonders book on page 206. So if you want to pause the video and go get your Wonders book to follow along, you can. If not, just follow along on the Clever Touch with Mrs. Murphy today. So let's learn about informational text. So if you look at this word informational, you see the keyword information in there. And we know from author's purpose that we learned last week, the P is persuade, the I is inform, and the E is to entertain. So an author might write an informational text to inform you and give you facts and information. So today we're going to learn about a narrative nonfiction.
Narrative nonfiction. Lighting Lies is a narrative nonfiction. A narrative nonfiction tells a story about a person by a narrator. It can have text features.
Okay, so right there, a narrative nonfiction, number one, tells a story about a person by a narrator. So a narrator is another person that is reading it and telling that story to the audience. So we'll be looking for that. Number two, it can have text features. So what are text features? Let's look down here to see. All right, now, when we read the story on Tuesday about Lighting Lives, we looked at this page, which is page 02, and we noticed that there is a picture over here or a photo. This is a text feature. So this is a feature in our writing or in the text that we're reading. So this photo shows something in the text or gives more information about a topic. So whenever we're reading, we should read the text first and then look for if there's any text features. For example, photos. If there's any photos, you should look at the photos and then look for this caption. So this right here is the caption, and a caption gives information about the photo. Because sometimes we want to learn more about the picture, and they don't necessarily tell us in the text up here about the picture. Sometimes they do, but sometimes this caption will give us more detailed information about the photo. Okay? So that is the two features we're going to focus on this week. Our two text features is photos and captions. All right, now we're going to practice this in our workbook, which is your reading page for today. So if you would please find this page, it is white. It is page 127, and the genre says text feature. And pause the video if you need to go get it. When you get it, would you please nicely and neatly write your name at the top? Once you have your name written on the top, I would like you to put your finger on the first word of the title, which is A. And let's read the title together. A friendly city for bikes. Now we're going to read about a friendly city for bikes. We're going to read the text first, and then if you notice, there's a couple text features. So put your finger on the word Sarah, and Kraus is her last name. So Sarah Kraus. And if you look over there, that is Sarah Kraus. So let's read this story together. Sarah Kraus lives in Austin, Texas. The mayor asked her for ideas to improve bike safety. Now Sarah and many other people have helped make Austin a friendly city for bikes. Now if you look over here, here's a text feature. This is called a photo. This is a picture of Sarah. This is what she actually looks like. Now the caption tells us about the photo. And it says Sarah Krause was the leader of the bike safety group in Austin. So right there we learned some new information about her. Not only is that a picture of her, but she was the leader of the bike safety group in Austin, Texas. Now we're going to go down below and we're going to practice looking at this narrative nonfiction and looking for the elements of a narrative nonfiction and the features. So we are going to answer the questions about the text. And I'm going to see if I can fit it. Yep, I can fit it all like this. It might be kind of small. You might have to zoom in with your iPad, but you can certainly do that. Number 1 says, how can you tell that this text is narrative nonfiction? So I want you to think of the 2 elements. What are the 2 elements for narrative nonfiction? Take a moment to think about that. All right, let's think back. So the first element is that it's a story about a person told by the narrator. So I'm going to put a 1 here. And let's write, you know what, second graders, I'm going to make this really big for you because I know you're not going to be able to see. I can just already tell that. Okay, hopefully this is better. So we're going to put a 1 there. So the first element is it is a story told by a narrator. So I'm going to put a 1 there. It is a story told. Here's a rule breaker. The O should say ah, but it says O. Told by a narrator. And that's why it's called a narrative nonfiction. Pause the video if you need to catch up on that first element. The second element is, let's think about that. So it's a story told by a narrator. And what did it have for its feature? So if you think up above here, it had a photo and caption about Sarah. So a narrative nonfiction also has a photo and a caption. So we can say it has a photo and caption. Pause the video if you need to catch up on your writing. I'm going to move on to number 2. How has Sarah Krause helped out in Austin? So I want you to go look up above. And I want you to go think, how has she helped out in Austin? And if you look at the last sentence, it says, now Sarah and many other people have helped make Austin a friendly city for bikes. And that's where we get the title of the story, a friendly bike-friendly city for bikes. So that's what she has done. And a lot of times we can find out like the main idea or the theme of the story by looking at the first sentence or last sentence. And in this case, it is the last sentence. So we could say, Sarah has helped make Austin, and you have 2 lines, so make sure you use both lines. A friendly city. Okay, go ahead and write that down. Okay, give you about another 30 seconds. All right, Mrs. Murphy is going to move it up. If you need to pause the video to catch up, please do. Number 3, it says, why does the author include a photo? So why does the author put a photo of Sarah? Why do you think that is? What is the author wanting to show us? I want you to think for a moment. Why did the author do that? Well, the author wanted to show us who Sarah Krause is. So the author we'll start with. Includes, because they use the word includes a photo to, and I'm gonna run out of room, so if you have to write down here, that's fine. Show, here's a word with a long O with an O-W, show us Sarah. Make sure you put a period. So the author includes a photo to show us Sarah. That is why the author put a photo of Sarah in this informational text. Pause the video if you need to. We'll go on to number 4. What information can you learn from the caption? So when we looked at the caption of Sarah, it said Sarah Krause was the leader of the bike safety group in Austin. So right there, we learned that Sarah was the leader of the bike safety group in Austin. So we'll first start with Sarah was the leader of the bike safety group in Austin. All right, Mrs. Murphy is going to end our lesson today on our text feature, which is this nonfiction narrative. And we learned that in order to have a narrative nonfiction, it has to have a story that is being told by a narrator, and it has to have a photo and a caption as its feature. When you get done with this, please keep this in a safe spot. And then you will go on to Epic for today. So if you need to pause the video and finish writing, please do. Once you get done with this, your next assignment for reading is to go onto Epic, and please work on Epic for at least 20 to 30 minutes for today. Okay, so finish this worksheet and then do Epic for 20 to 30 minutes.